Chair lays out House Bill 1333. Recognize Representative Krause.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee member. I appreciate the opportunity to lay out House Bill 1333.
Chair lays out House Bill 1333. Recognize Representative Krause.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee member. I appreciate the opportunity to lay out House Bill 1333 to you.
Members.
And members. Members, thank you. We've talked a lot about property tax reform, relief.
Oh, hold on. You have a substitute, don't
Yes,
you?
sir. Thank you.
All right. Representative Noble offers up the committee substitute to House Bill 1333.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, Representative Murphy. Yeah, thank you. Along with property tax and relief, what we also need to look at is the appraisal process and reforming that, because I think that could actually go a long way in accomplishing those goals. And so you're going to hear from a witness tonight who's a constituent of mine, who's a realtor, and he and his team have worked on close to 10,000 property tax protests just in the last 2 years. And so he got to know the system very well, and I said, Chandler, what do we need to do to make this process more fair and better for the taxpayer? And so that's what 1333 is. Those are his ideas that he's come up with, tested, tried, and proven. Chairman, I appreciate you working with us on a House Bill 2 amendment that we were working on, and we'll continue to work with you on that. But what this does is kind of rebalances the playing field for the property taxpayer against the appraisal process and the appraisal board. And so our committee substitute makes 3 changes. It removes the eligibility restrictions for serving on the appraisal review board, because that needs to be done actually in separate legislation. Remove the cosmetic defect language, because apparently the comptroller is going to issue a manual in either HB2 or SB2 that's going to take care of those concerns. And then we added clarifying language around the receipt of email notices. But I'll let Chandler talk. I'm happy to answer any questions. I know I've talked to you each individually about this. Happy to answer questions. Otherwise, I'll reserve my right to close, and we can hear from the witnesses.
All right. Members, any questions? If
Thank you,
not,
Chairman.
Thank you very much. Chair calls on Chandler Crouch. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Chairman Burrows and members of the Ways and Means Committee. My name is Chandler Crouch, and I'm grateful to testify with you to you today in favor of House Bill 1333. As he mentioned, I've helped over 10,000 people protest. I do it absolutely free of charge. My goal is to help people solve their property tax issues, and that's the reason why I'm here today, is because I believe this is part of the solution. Just after talking with so many people, these issues absolutely help people, and let me just go through a couple of them real quick here. So let's see here. So I've received requests for free help from people in 22 different counties. The folks that I've been helping are just mainly in Tarrant County, but I've also talked with many realtors and even some tax agents that are more than happy to provide free help to people, absolutely free. And then I've also been in the appraisal district office, where sitting there, and I see person after person go up to the desk. They're trying to, fight their valuation or whatever. And it's obvious that there are things that they just don't know, that the employee at the appraisal district can't advise them on because of their position. And one thing that this bill does is it requires the comptroller to provide a list, or to begin allowing folks, realtors and folks that are willing to offer free help, to be able to sign up, so that the folks at the appraisal district can offer that list to homeowners, so that we can connect realtors that are willing to give free help to the people that need it. And so I think that would be tremendous. It would help cut down the volume of traffic in the appraisal office. It would allow the people at the appraisal district to actually help them and get them the advice they need. The bill also does something else to eliminate a conflict of interest that is currently allowed. In Denton County, Dave Lieber, who's a columnist, he wrote an article on April 6th, I believe, about this issue. And it's currently, if you're an employee at the appraisal district, you can also be, mayor. Well, for instance, I'll just give you an example. Mayor of Louisville is the chief appraiser in Denton County. And it just doesn't look right by any means. It's an obvious conflict of interest. And this bill takes care of that issue. we wouldn't have
What
that.
if you run trying to cut taxes on the ISD or city?
I suppose there could be an argument there.
I was gonna say someone ran on that, but yeah.
Well, I think I don't know that message would get to all the homeowners. I think just from the appearance of it, to have somebody in that position where it's almost like having an employee with check writing privileges to themselves, and with the level of disenfranchisement that homeowners are seeing, that it's just, you just want to avoid that with this level. Yeah, but I love the idea. I think that's a clever idea. And then here's the last thing. There are several different requirements for notices and exemption issues, and there are a few different policies in this bill. And I'm going to just kind of wrap this up into one real life example that I've seen. Okay, so appraisal districts have an automatic process that they use to determine if somebody has become ineligible for a homestead exemption. One of the ways that they do this automatically is if they send mail to somebody's house and that mail is returned to them as undeliverable, they'll assume that the person has moved out of their house. Well, what if somebody's in military and they got deployed, or what if somebody's sick, or what if somebody's gone on an extended vacation or something? That mail comes undeliverable. What happens is the appraisal district automatically cancels the homestead exemption, and then they send notice out to the house with already having verified that the address they're sending to is undeliverable, and so the homeowner never gets it. Then what happens, and the notice as it is currently, a lot of times it's buried deep within the mail that they receive. So page 3 in the fine print, basically. People just aren't seeing it. So this bill solves this problem on many levels. And by the way, Jason Allen, CBS News, did a huge story on this May 23rd. This bill allows people to sign up to receive notices via email, just like most people are used to seeing their notices and statements show up in their email inbox, and that would eliminate this problem altogether just alone. Also, whenever an exemption is getting canceled, it's going to require the cancellation to be on the front page of the notice in clear, conspicuous writing. It's going to eliminate a lot of issues there. And it just basically ensures that they're going to get any kind of notice electronically if that's the method that they prefer to receive it in, and protect them. This is an issue. A lot of the property tax relief bills that I've seen, I love all of them, honestly. I think we just need a lot of, maybe not all of them, but we need a lot of change, right? But these issues affect people that have an issue that are affected by thousands of dollars. And when we pass this, then one individual homeowner, it could make the difference of thousands of dollars, whereas some of these other bills, it might just be a couple $100, and if values go up again, that reduction is going to get swallowed up pretty quick. So just like to ask the committee to strongly consider passing this bill, and I just really appreciate the opportunity to testify.
Absolutely. Members, any questions? If not, thank you for being here. Appreciate your testimony.
Thank you.
All right, chair calls on Alvin Langford. All right, is there anyone else here who wishes to testify on, for, or against House Bill 1333? Hearing none, chair calls on Representative Krause to close.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, committee, appreciate you hearing this bill. I think it's very important. I do appreciate Chandler making the trip from Fort Worth down here tonight,
Absolutely.
staying all day to be here to testify with the great work he's done, free of charge, out of the goodness of his heart. Could use a lot more people like him in our state. We'd be a lot better off. So thank you for your consideration, and I close.